Every day we see more tents under bridges, more families living out of cars. And while the problems seem insurmountable, the solutions are simpler than you think. We share the real stories and the real solutions of homelessness, what works, what doesn't, and how communities like ours can do better. I'm Baron King, and this is Give Me Shelter. Okay, thanks for joining us again. I think many of you probably tuned in to what I think is episode 5, Living Outside, part 1, where we met Mr. Joe Brackett from the Regional Outreach Cooperative. And he's in an amazing position to provide a lot of valuable insight into the realities of being unsheltered. And we started off recording episode 1. It was going to be about 35 minutes. We looked up and it was 70 minutes later. So this is part 2. Joe, we're going to talk to you about some things I know you know well.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Great. So most people, I'm going to make the guess that most people have not gotten out of their car and walked into an encampment. For the people listening or watching, can you describe, and I'm sure there's a lot of variability that they're different, but describe what I would see if I got out of my car and walked into the woods and came across a place where 15 people are living.
Okay, so a 15-person camp. There's likely to be some animals running around. If we've got a camp that big, there's at least 1 or 2 dogs. So that's going to be the first thing that you see because they're running up to you.
Yeah.
I'm always having to ask new volunteers, how you feel about dogs? If they're like, I don't like dogs, I'm like, okay, well,
Some of these grits out of the
just you might want to stay back. Yeah. So that'll be the first thing if we're talking about a camp that big that you'll see. And then you're going to see a very defined path. It's going to be pretty clear on where you need to go to find the people that own those dogs. Yeah. And so you follow that probably through a hole in a fence or along a railroad track. They've moved down along the railroad tracks, and the dogs will maybe show you where that path is. But once you find the path, you walk back into this place where you're probably going to start seeing some structures, maybe some ones that have failed and are no longer being used and have been abandoned, or you'll find ones that are still intact and you're either going to see a tent that has some patchwork done to it because people's tents don't stay in good standing for long, and so the zipper is going to be kind of zip tied together in a way, duct tape, tarp, different materials that can somehow provide some kind of covering are going to be laid over top of that. Or you're going to see a structure that's not even a tent at all. Plywood and pallets and just all these different materials kind of piecing together what is being used as a structure that somebody is staying in. And then you'll likely see a communal space. If we've got that many folks in a camp, there's a common communal space that people are utilizing to kind of hang out, come together, spend time with one another while these various other structures are kind of jetting off from that communal space. Yeah. This time of year, you're going to smell some smoke and possibly see a fire and things that are piled up next to be burned to go into that fire. And it's probably not just going to be wood that's burning. There'll be anything and everything that can be burned to retain heat, to get warm. And you'll see trash, of course. And that's a big complaint by a lot of people in our community. We can talk more about that if we want, but that exists. And I've kind of, having done this so long, I've kind of become blind to it. And I think maybe that's just through the conditioning of my mind. And I think that same condition is shared within the people that are living in these spaces of just like the trash is not really visible because there's other things at hand. There's other
human
things.
Suffering takes priority.
Yeah. And then from there you see the people. They're there, and when we go out, they're probably asleep or just waking up, and so they're a little drowsy. But again, there's this spirit and this feeling of being welcomed, and people coming out to greet us. Where if I were in that situation, I don't know if I'd be too hospitable.
Yeah.
I probably am not coming out of my tent if I just only got 3 hours of sleep.
Sure.
I'm not coming out to see nobody for nothing.
Yeah.
Leave it
Leave
out there, and
yeah.
I'll get it. And sometimes that's the case, but
sure.
majority of the time, people are coming out and they're seeing us, they're talking to us, telling us things. So that's what you'd see.
Yeah. We talk a lot on the show about what I call the continuum of homelessness, that the person that was evicted yesterday is a much different situation than the person that's been unsheltered for 2 years. What have you observed when you go into encampments and you see people that have been unsheltered homelessness for several years? What do you see as far as the physical and the mental toll?
Yeah, I think a lot of times what I see in those situations is people that have kind of just succumbed in a lot of ways to their circumstances to just say, yep, here's another day that I'm alive and I'm going to do the most with it that I can. There are things around this camp that I'm calling home, that I've kind of just adopted as my home, that I've relinquished myself to say this is my home, to keep busy with. Got to make sure, the animals are a big part, to say, hey, this is something I can care for.
Yeah.
I may not be doing a great job of caring for myself, but I care deeply about this cat. I care deeply about this dog. And a lot of ways it's a distraction to say, that if I can focus in on this, if I can focus my energy and my mental, everything on making sure this dog's taken care of, then I won't maybe get so down on my failures to be able to care for myself in the ways that I wish that I could. And so there's that. And a lot of people, don't tend to understand that relationship. And at times I don't. It's just like six dogs, though. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the desire to care about something that they feel as though responsibility. I can do this. And then I think there's just folks that I've seen over the years that when I first start talking to them, there's a fire to say, do something for me. Get me out of here. Why isn't housing happening for me? Where's my housing? What can I do? And they get really aggressive with me.
Sure.
And I go through my spiel of, well, this is what housing is supposed to look like, and this is what it really looks like, and these are the steps, and this is the assessment that we can do, and just get them lost in the whole process, unfortunately, because the process, so many people get lost in it. Yeah. And we have that conversation over and over again. I get as painfully detailed about it as I can every time that people are coming at me like that, and I give them every answer that I can to explain the whole process as best as I understand it.
Sure.
And to say, you keep asking me about that. I have no problem about you asking me about that, and I'll continue to explain to you the way this process works to my understanding. But then over time, as the state of homelessness continues, it's that kind of aggressiveness and that burning desire to exit kind of dissipates and it goes away, and people are just like, hey, oh, it is Friday again? Oh, it is Wednesday again? I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
You're asking me how long I've been out here? I don't even remember. I can't even remember. I mean, what was it? Back in 2019, I think and like it's a struggle to remember these things. And again, I think it's this self-preservation mindset that kicks in to just say, okay, we can't think about those things. We can't go there. That doesn't help us. It's not a thing that's constructive to us right now. What is constructive is, got to go get this water, need this firewood, got to make sure we got this taken care of, need to get down to go donate plasma today
Yeah.
so that I can make some money. A lot of people doing that. I'm going to go donate plasma. Got to make sure I get there on time so I can get back and do the other things I need to do. I've got my friend watching. I got to go check my friend, make sure they're going to watch my dog while I'm gone, going to it. So it's all these things.
Yeah. Wow. I think we've got a 2-part show here. Let's just keep going. This is great. So, Joe, studies have shown that the average person views homeless individuals as dangerous. I think you, more than a lot of people in the homeless arena, have a higher concentration with people experiencing homelessness. What's your experience of the idea of danger?
The folks that are housed are just as dangerous as people that are unhoused.
Interesting.
And I think there's evidence out there that would support that there, when it comes to violent crimes are committed more often by people who are housed than people who are unhoused. Yeah. And again, I've said it a couple times, the amount of hospitality and welcomeness that we receive when we're going out. And I think it's folks can sense your intention whenever you're approaching them, especially in the way that we're approaching them, and that, hey, we're not here to make you do anything you don't want to. We're not here to tell you how to live your life. We're not here to tell you what you're doing is wrong or that you should do this because it's right. And I think there's a mutual respect there, because that's not what people want. That's not what people are trying to hear. It's not any way to get forward with anybody, even if you're homeless or not. You don't want somebody coming into your place of living and telling you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And so, the folks that we meet, the folks that we get to know, I think sometimes there can be a initial like, hey, who is that?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Sure.
And whenever you say, hey, we're just here checking on folks. It's cold outside. We got some hot coffee. We got this food. We got these blankets. We got these hand warmers. No problem. And so I just, I get frustrated by people believing that there are just these people who are out there looking to harm you.
Well, and we hear that vitriol from some of our elected officials, right? Mm-hmm. They describe homeless people as dangerous. Mm-hmm. And yet statistics, Justice Department statistics, show that homeless individuals are much more likely to be victims of crime due to their vulnerability than perpetrators of crime.
Right.
We know just about everybody that comes into our facility has a backpack or a cart or something. And we know just about everybody has figured out how to make some kind of weapon. Mm-hmm. That might scare some people. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, if I ever find myself homeless, one of the first things I'm going to do is probably make a weapon. Yeah. Because I'm going to be a little scared.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are absolutely present and exist and are out there. But it's more of a self-defense kind of thing.
In some of the 24/7 low barrier shelters I've visited, they most of them say no weapons are allowed, and yet everybody has some kind of weapon. And so most of them have established what are called amnesty boxes, where inside the vestibule, but not inside the shelter, are receptacles where people can put whatever they have. Because when they go back out, they're still going to feel unsafe.
Right.
And so from what I've learned, it's just never a problem. They're saying, okay, once I'm in the shelter, I'm safe.
Right.
It's out there that it's dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
Joe, what's the hardest part of your job?
It's definitely difficult whenever you experience a loss of someone that you know and have gotten to know in these situations, and you've gotten to understand what the needs are, and then knowing and experiencing the system that is supposed to be in place to meet those needs, to prevent to help prevent that loss.
Yeah.
And to see it be presented within the system as though that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like, oh, someone passed away due to their mental illness. You knew that that person had been struggling with a mental illness for a long time, but you had no way to actually get them access to those needed resources, even though they supposedly exist for individuals like this person.
Yeah.
And then to turn around and see other places present the resources. So, oh yeah, no, this is absolutely accessible for this type of situation. And you know, because you've tried, that isn't the case. And so the frustration, I think a lot of people think, oh, Joe, you've been doing this work for so long that the frustration and the problem and the hardest part must just be dealing with the people that are experiencing homelessness. That's not really where my frustration comes from at all, rarely ever. Because sure, I'll set plans with people to say, hey, let's go get your ID this day, or hey, let's go do this thing in a couple days, and then I get there and the plan doesn't go through.
Yeah.
I've had to learn that lesson over and over again to realize just because I want to do something for someone or see them do this doesn't make it the most important thing in that person's life. So, of course, the plan can change, and I can't get hurt about that or frustrated about that. Maybe after the 20th time, there's some added frustration, absolutely. But the major frustration and the major hard part is trying to work within this system that whenever I am presented with a resource and I show up to a place and someone's talking about this thing that they do, and I say, hey, can I access that for this person that I know that could desperately use that thing? And I jump through all the hoops and I try to check all the boxes and I try to make all the things work that this person that's presented me with this resource say I need to do first. And I do all that and I work all that hard to hopefully make that happen. And then it ends up not being at all what that person presented it to be.
Sure.
And so the frustration lays with the system, and the hard-heartedness that I have at times lays with the system that touts itself at times to say, oh, we are doing this, that, and the other. And I'm saying, well, you're not doing it for this person, that person, the other person. And so that's absolutely the hardest part.
So what I hear you saying is you feel responsible for a couple hundred people, and yet you understand, due to the limitations of the resources that are available, the scarcity of affordable housing, frozen housing vouchers, changing government priorities, that you're only going to be able to truly end homelessness for a small percentage of those people.
And it wears on you to have to continue to go back and see these folks over and over again, because I will. I'm committed to doing that. And seeing the situation get worse while knowing there's a meeting happening on the other side of town where people are saying, well, we're doing this great work for this particular issue. And I'm talking to this person that's going through that very issue. And it's like, no, it's not true for him. It's not true for them. It's not true for this person. So that's the hard part. And then also just folks that are just, I don't know, ending up in this work for other reasons other than to care for these folks that are out here, for selfish gain, for self-promotion, for attention, for whatever else it is. Like, I just can't stand it. And it wears me out to run into that in certain areas of this work. And I just can't spend my time doing it and engaging with those folks. And I can't understand it. So
earlier in the year, we had some pretty serious flooding I know it took out one section that was being used as an encampment, and I know that our friend Casey lost somebody that she'd been serving for years. I don't think we get any further as a nation if we're going to hide from realities or sugarcoat things. But the reality is that homelessness, and this is a term I learned from somebody who was speaking in Washington, D.C., was that homelessness is the number one geriatric accelerator. And it's not unusual for us to be talking to somebody and filling out a form, and I think I'm talking to somebody that's 65 years old, and I ask their age, and they're 48.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to put you on the spot, kind of ask you a sensitive question. You've been doing this for 10 years. How much death have you experienced?
My list that I keep of how many folks that I've gotten to know that have experienced homelessness over these past 10 years is over 100 people now. So, and it's absolutely it's increased more since 2020 at an accelerated rate. I'm not really sure, but that's just the case. I mean, it skyrocketed, and I think a lot of it has to do with overdose.
Fentanyl.
Yeah, overdose deaths absolutely is a large chunk of that. I think before 2020, wasn't seeing much of that. But yeah, the life expectancy of someone experiencing homelessness is about 20 years younger than the average. Yeah. It's a lot. And I think this year there's been maybe 8 folks that have passed, and it's important for me to keep that list that I have of those names that I look at often to keep my mind right on why I'm showing up every day to do this. It's because to provide better opportunities for the folks that aren't on that list yet, to where they don't end up on that list, hopefully. Our mobile medical unit at Homeless Healthcare is a huge component that I believe in that fight. To know that there are people on my list of 100 names that if we had gotten their diabetes under control through the use of that mobile medical unit, they would probably still be here. Or if we had been able to do blood work on the person that died of a brain aneurysm, we probably could have detected that and told them, hey, you need to go to the hospital. Like this is something's wrong here. And they probably could have still been here. Or we could have done a colon rectal scan of this person that died of colon cancer and gotten that treated and cared for before that claimed their life. And so I'm a big advocate and all the work that I've done over the past couple of years to use Shower Up as a cornerstone for these mobile service opportunities. It's all been in hopes of having that mobile medical unit present to be able to detect these things and identify these things to kind of curve this life expectancy downfall that we have in this population. And so it's something that's present on my mind all the time. We have a guy in Lookout Valley right now. His tent is in shambles. I've given him a new tent, hasn't set it up. He's very paranoid, doesn't like to talk to us, is very scared, is always looking at new people that are with me that he's never met before. Like, who are they? Won't receive much of anything from us. If we give him food, he's chowing it down, but we just all can't really figure this guy out. And we're all just kind of have come to the line of thinking that one of us is going to find him dead one day because he won't come out of his tent for anything. We believe that the food that we're giving him is the only food that he ever gets. That's why he's eating it as quickly as he can whenever we give it to him. He won't be seen by anybody that has medical experience. The doctor that we take out on Wednesday doesn't want anything do with her, and it's this whole process again of gaining trust. Sure, we're working on that. We're getting there. Things are getting improved in that regard, but how much time do we have before no more trust can be built because he's not alive anymore? Saw him on Monday. He's still alive. We'll hope that he's alive again this upcoming Monday. That's just kind of where we're at. These are the situations that we're dealing with.
Wow. want to pivot a little bit, talk a little bit about potential solutions from your perspective. And you've talked a little bit about the systems that are out there that are just insufficient. I always think of it as a funnel. Mm-hmm. We've got way too much going into the top of the funnel, and it's a really narrow spout, and it just isn't enough. What are 3 things that you think would make a big difference in the fight against homelessness?
Well, I can't ever do one of these interviews and not say affordable housing.
Yep.
Just another quick Google search. Google, what state has the lowest cost for housing? That'd be Mississippi. What state has the lowest rate of homelessness? That'd be Mississippi. Correlation, causation, yeah. I think we got one there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so absolutely that. And when we say affordable housing, it's not $1,200 a month for one bedroom.
Yeah.
We're talking $600,
yeah,
$700 a month for maybe a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
That's what affordable housing means. I think that phrase gets thrown out a lot.
It does.
And it gets put into articles, and we think that we've done it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but how much does it actually cost? Oh, $1,200 a month. That's more than my mortgage.
Yeah.
That's not what I consider affordable housing. No. So there's one. 2, there has to be spaces that people are allowed to be, whether that be shelter or just places in our community that people are allowed to be. We're running out of those here.
Yeah.
In a big way. There's a lot of pressure to decrease that and do away with that and that not be allowed. Out of sight, out of mind. People have to be seen. They have to be recognized. They have to be welcomed. They have to be approachable. And so if we keep kicking them down the road, none of that's possible. It makes my job harder whenever I'm going to an encampment 1 week and I go back the next time I'm supposed to be in that area and that encampment's gone. How am I supposed to work on anything with those people? Is that intentional? Or are we not supposed to work on things with people? Is that what we're pushing for? I don't know. But if we are going to work on things with people, if we are going to see them, if we are going to approach them, if we are going to work with them and try to help, then there have to be places that people are allowed to be.
Yeah.
The people that I'm able to be in contact with the most in these encampments are the ones that tend to be able to exit homelessness most easily. And that even goes into the way of having a phone.
Yeah.
The clients that have phones that I'm able to be in contact with via a phone, able to get so much more done with because I'm able to contact them whenever I need to.
Yeah.
Because these resources, the system that I get frustrated with, these opportunities whenever they are presented, they're only presented for a very short window and then it's gone.
Sure.
Opportunity's over. So you got to be able to strike whenever that window, that opportunity is there. So places, affordable housing. And then I think just say overall communal understanding that we don't have to be against people, we can be for them.
Mm.
And I think we have to get to that point if we're going to make any strides, because I've seen you stand up in front of groups of people. I've stood up in front of groups of people to propose these things like affordable housing, shelter. And what's missing is that agreed upon communal understanding that we have to be for people, not against them. And these ideas, these things that are talked about, a lot of time, energy, probably resources are spent on to push forward as ideas, don't ever become reality. And a lot of times is because there's no agreed upon communal understanding and belief that we have to be for people, whether they're homeless, shoeless, carless, whateverless, we have to be for them, not against them. And so those 3 things, if we could have them,
those are great things.
We go a long way.
All right, I got one more question for you. I'm sure there's people listening to this podcast that are saying, "All right, I'm ready to take the step. I want to help." Mm-hmm. Some of these people are going to be Hamilton County folks, and so maybe your answer is different for them. But even for people that are out of state or in a different community, we've got people listening all over the nation to this. If somebody wanted to get involved specifically with outreach, how do they do that?
Yeah, so we struggle right now with capacity to take on volunteers. We've got a handful that ride out, but our capacity is met pretty quickly because we only have so many vehicles
Yep.
that we can utilize to do this work. But Shower Up, looking for volunteers all the time.
Okay.
Their schedule and the opportunities that they have on their website and their calendar, a lot of them line up with what we're doing and the areas that we're going to.
And Shower Up is not just a Chattanooga thing. They're I believe, in Nashville and Knoxville. Where else?
They're all over the place. They got one in Chicago. I think they just did one in Memphis, Kansas. They're all over the place. But we are lucky to have one here in Chattanooga. So looking for service opportunities like that. Look for your local outreach team wherever you may be, and just do a little digging to find what that is. We've met folks from other cities that are doing similar work to us, like we're doing here in Chattanooga. I think also there's always the question of, well, what do I do if I see somebody when I'm just on my own? And that's really a bigger conversation about boundaries. Everybody's boundaries are going to be different. And like for me, I'm not giving anybody money if I'm here in Chattanooga because that complicates the future relationship I could have with that person as a client. But if I'm traveling and I'm on vacation somewhere, or if I'm in a different city, I'm carrying some cash with me, and I'm willing to hand it out to folks that might see me, because I understand that if it's like a city like ours, you got to pay a couple bucks to just ride the bus. And people are absolutely using the money that they get to ride the bus to get to the places that they need to get to. Or they're buying the food that they absolutely need in order to survive. And they're absolutely buying the things that maybe you and I wouldn't buy, but we buy things that people unlike us wouldn't buy. I'm buying stuff that isn't the healthiest for me and consuming it, but that doesn't mean that we don't have the freedom to do that. And so the biggest thing, I don't want to go into that any further. I could talk. That's a whole other episode. But the biggest thing is to interact with people in a way that is respectful and that gives them value. Look them in the eye, ask them what their name is, remember it. And if you aren't able to give money, say respectfully, I'm not able to today. I'm not able to this time. I'm sorry. Carry around with you some gift cards to fast food places. Carry around with you a supply bag with some of the items that I mentioned earlier to have with you in a moment's notice. You got to do the work beforehand before you're presented with a situation that you don't know what to do. If you know that it's coming, maybe there's something you can do beforehand before you're in that moment that can be helpful to that person on the other end. Just think creatively. Talk to the outreach workers in your community about maybe what it is that you would like to do. We're doing a thing tomorrow at the Shower Up Opportunity at Abba's house where we've handed out these pink trash bags that some church ladies have bought. And everybody that fills up a pink trash bag with some trash and brings it to the Shower Up Opportunity, they're going to get $1 per bag of trash. Because the person that did all this got the $51 bills and the pink trash bags together. They're like, hey, I want to be able to help folks be able to clean up the trash in their area if they want to, but also give them the incentive to do so. And so we're going to see how it goes. And it's an idea that I've had for a while, and just a simple conversation with this one lady about this is something I've thought of, and we're doing it. And so that's kind of the flexibility that we have here within the Rock, within the Regional Outreach Cooperative. We have so many different partners involved that we're able to kind of go in these creative directions and address these things head on, because all the money and the proceeds and everything that comes our way, we're directly pushing right back into the actual needs that we're hearing from people that we encounter, because I'm paid through homeless healthcare. Casey's paid through the Chat Foundation. The guys at the city are paid through the city. So we're not worrying about keeping the lights on anywhere or doing any of this other stuff. It's like directly like sleeping bag. That's what this person needs. buying sleeping bag. And so just having these conversations, we never know where it might end up leading to. We've got ladies that are just making us sausage and cheese biscuits every morning because that's something that they can do and they enjoy doing. And they're doing that for us every day. Be caffeinated. It's a local coffee shop.
Yep.
They're like, all we got is coffee. We say, that's helpful.
Yeah.
We'll take that. If you can give us some, we get some every day now in the winter months. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like a hot cup of coffee on a cold morning that can open somebody up to really talk to you about what it is that they need more than anything else you could ever give them.
It would work for me.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. All right. So you guys take donations, right?
Yes.
And so we're going to put the website up. So if you want to get in touch, if you want to donate, provide resources to them. The great thing about them, every dollar that they get gets pushed into the community. So there's no waste here, not covering salaries or insurance or gasoline or everything like that. Joe, I love what you're doing. I think that our community is better and stronger because you take this so seriously. You take this to heart. And you're an inspiration to me, so I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you giving us the time to talk more about it and get the word out there. ChattanoogaRock.com, ROC, and we're also on Facebook, Regional Outreach Cooperative Chattanooga. So,
all right.
Thanks
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to Give Me Shelter. If you made it this far in the episode, I invite you to share with at least one person today, because change happens one conversation at a time. I'm Baron King. We'll see you next time.